See. All right, so the first thing I would do on her is I would decide how big how much of her I'm gonna show. And she's already cropped and I like the crop of it. So I'm just gonna do, a life-size face is thumb to here. That would be for an adult head. So I'm gonna come in and make it just a little smaller than life-size. Yeah. Thumb to middle finger is a life-size head. And children have pretty good sized heads. I don't know if you want to.
No.
So here's life-size, and I'm making it pretty big. I think I'll go ahead and just fill this little
Can we
board.
take this down?
No,
Here to here.
I don't need that down.
You sure?
I'm positive I can see perfect right here.
And then I'm gonna find my halfway mark, okay? And the halfway mark is her eyebrows. So all I've done is top of the head,
Oh,
top that I can see, and her chin. And that's really close to her part. And that's always a good landmark, is right there where the part is. The other thing I can check real quick is height to width. So I have here to here, straight across here. I'll just do it on here so y'all can see it. And then from her just a little short of that to there. And I can go ahead and put a little bit of a mark to see about how wide she is. So I've already got the perimeter there. Because she's so tiny, and this is what we were talking about with you, Katya, this charcoal is going to be really harsh on such a tiny little soft girl. I know the halfway mark is the eyebrows. So I'm going to start with eyebrows. Then I'm going to measure from eyebrows to the nose and nose to the bottom of the chin. She's a little bit longer in this quadrant. So I can go over here and go nose, that's about it, equal. And it needs to be a little longer, so I'm gonna go up just a tad. Her nose right there. Can you see her a little bit? Already? This is matte board with the pastel, golden pastel medium. And I just painted some of that on there and it's gritty. So it's just an old matte board. And the pastel medium. Now, whether it's archival or not, I don't know. You can buy archival matte boards. Then I think I'm just going to go ahead. Let me double check this.
Christy,
It's pouring, isn't it?
is my car gonna get stuck?
Oh, heavens. Oh, no. We'll get it out for you.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that can push.
Dorothy. All right, so we determined that from eyebrows to bottom of nose is a little bit shorter than from bottom of nose to chin. So that's the only decision we really had to make was right here, where to put this nose. Because we know this is the halfway mark. I'll figure out the hair later. So now I've got the most important parts down. So I'll go ahead and I like to start with her little circle of a nose. And she's got really tiny little nostrils. I don't know if that's exactly in the middle, but I can kind of start there and just hope it is. And I can adjust one way or the other if I need to. It is a little bit over, is it to that side a little bit?
Okay, too. Just a little bit.
Yeah, it is more to that side, which is okay. I'd rather have it not smack dab in the center. All right, and this is moving around. And I'm kind of doing it over to the side. But I can also tell that her tear duct is even with this side of her nose, and her tear duct on this side is pretty well even with this side of her nose. All right. Her little eyebrows, her little eye is just right under her eyebrow. It's about that wide, and on this side, I've made a wide eyebrow here, so you'll ask yourself which one of the eyebrows are you going from. Then she's got a little cleft here, a little space, top of her lip. She's got little rosebud lips.
Oh, the cutest lip.
They're sweet.
So cute.
Opening of her mouth, and I'll go ahead and darken that a little so I remember that's the opening. Bottom of her lip, little shadow underneath there, and the bottom of her chin. And that's pretty close. It still looks a little bit long, but that's pretty close. So now I've really pretty much got everything I need there. And it measured out from bottom of the shadow to bottom of the chin and maybe a little bit of measurement, a little bit needs to happen there. So now I can just start putting that all together. Height to width, halfway mark here, and now I'll just start drawing her features. And this charcoal is so dark. Little shadow right here. Shadow here. I'm matching angles, so this angle and this angle oftentimes are exactly the same. This one and this one are the same, and this one and this one are very often the same. So if you can kind of do that while you're doing the eyes, do them both at the same time, kind of rhythmically. The eye stands a better chance of being samey, instead of having this eye and then this kind of gargly looking eye over here. Remember, my first goal is to just make a little girl. It will not be her, but to just have a little girl on here. I try not to put dark lines under their eyes because it looks like they have this strong eyeliner on, and she doesn't. I mean, she's just, everything about her is really soft. The other thing I can check now is the sides of her mouth come just down from the inside of her iris, straight down, and on this side, she doesn't have a big smile on, is right straight down from the eye white right there. And then I can also check the width of her mouth and see what it's the same as. It's the same as what? Tear duct to bottom of nose. And I'm going over here and it's a little bit bigger. So that's pretty close. Tear duct to bottom of nose. So it's always comparative measuring. What is the same as what? When you drop a piece of charcoal, always pick it up because it makes a big mess when you step on it. All right, so before I even do any detail on the mouth, I've determined that it's about wide enough. So now I can start taking her little lips apart. Remember, you can do the two little circles this way. And then there's one in the center that's a little heart shape. And really, her little mouth would be easier to just draw the opening of her little mouth. The dark part. I think I got it a little bit too wide, so I'm gonna erase a little bit off there. Can y'all see this?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I like to just leave the bottom lip light, because light usually hits it. And define the bottom lip somewhat with the shadow underneath it. Remember, a lot of times there's a little circle on their chin.
Would he park her where I can't get
No.
I guess we'd leave at the same time though.
Yeah.
She's not gonna spend the night, is she?
We won't not have to make. Start feeling Noah's heart here.
All right, so I'm doing a little bit of just her bangs. I'm just looking at these blocky shapes around her head, just to kind of define these big blocky shapes. Like that big shape like that is really dark. I'm not thinking about hair, strands of hair right now. And she's round, everything's round about her. So right now she's looking older than she really is. What is it that's distinctive about her? Her little round eyes. And I guess I don't know what color they are. I think they might be blue.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and her little lips. Those are the two features about her that are so darling. And she's out playing, so she's not all fixed up like a fancy. Is Sydney gone?
No.
Oh, okay. Are you having a time over there?
No, I'm just looking at these elbows.
Then there's a dark area of shadow right here. See that? There's a triangle. So if you can train yourself to shape search, just look for shapes, it's so much better than trying to always just draw with contours. Just look for shapes as much as you can. Her ear is straight over from the tip of her nose right here. I'll put a little mark there. On that side, I don't see an ear on that side. I just see dark. And actually, this big shape comes down here. That big dark shape. I can't see what's going on over here with her head. I really see the roundness of this. And this is pretty distinctive. Here's a little ear. She looks a little skinny, so I can check from cheek to about where I think her cheek is there. And it's the same as chin to just above her eyebrow. So that's about right. So I didn't have that too far off. But the longer you do this, the more you can accurately judge. And you don't have to measure, too much. I'm going to give a little bit of a feeling of some hair down here. But this is what's so cute, is these little strands around her head. And then there's a little bit of dark here. And I can check that where her part is straight over her part, because my brain wants to do it over here. Straight over her tear duct. Doesn't look anything like her yet. But my goal, again, this first time, and be gentle with yourself, is to just have a person on here. And it won't be her. I like to get the neck on really quick. And so I check to see how the neck intersects with her face. And it comes right up her little lip and across the bottom of her nose. Like that. And I can see how much space there is right here. It's about the same as from the bottom of her nose to the opening of her mouth. So that's where, if I'm looking at the hands of a clock, her little dress goes down towards 5:30-ish here. Instead of doing one continuous line, I'm going to slow down and break it into several lines. I'm not even going to worry about this down here. She's just got, her hair's all just disheveled. How do you say that?
Disheveled.
Disheveled.
I sound like
Okay,
I know
so
what
I have
you're
a
talking
little-
about, but I
you
don't
do.
know.
I
don't
have a
know.
little girl on here now,
Yes, we do.
but it's not her. And so I go ahead and erase these circles. I like to put those in just because they give me a reference point while I'm drawing to start with. So what would I do to try to help make this look more like her? Well, one thing is just to really get things soft. Ooh, that's really dark. A little bit of her cheek. I'm always looking for a place to let things sort of melt around her face, so I probably would do it over here and just keep everything really soft. I probably need to turn my computer off. The little corners of her mouth are just real curvy. I made a decision about where the sides of her mouth were, but I didn't know how high or low those would go. So I usually look at the bottom of the nose and judge this space from the bottom of the nose to the corner of the mouth to decide if I've got that too high or too low. And I had it too low there, so let me just take that off. So it's a little girl. And so now, I'll turn everything off and I'll go back and measure it and try to probably, her ear kind of goes that way. Dorothy. I bet you won't park there next time, will you?
Well, if it's not raining, I will.
But it wasn't today, was it? I love these kind of
It's
days.
thundering.
They're
You
great
know, I've
days
heard
to
that
draw.
the eclipse would bring a lot of natural rain.
Really?
Well, natural disasters.
Disasters.
Yeah, like
Really?
like very strange.
Yeah.
Now I'm worried about. Yeah.
All right, so that's all I would do right now. I mean, I might go back, put her little nostrils in there. Once you put those those three circles there, you already have a little nook to stick those nostrils in. Again, it's not her. What I'll do next week is I'll put the first layer of color on, and I can do that in about 20 minutes. When I do the little open studio sessions, I try to divide it up like this. I have a 25-minute segments. So the first 25 minutes I try to get it drawn. That's what I did with these. And the second, oh, you weren't here, Katya. The second 25 minutes, so I got the drawing done of her, and then they changed the pose on me. And so I just did a quick, she had a shaved head. She had a lot of tattoos. I didn't try to put her tattoos or anything on. But I just did a quick rendering of her. Used the same board. I put that pastel medium on just a matte board. It's real grainy and gritty, so you really couldn't get in here. Like I couldn't do a lot of details on her hands or anything. So it was just kind of a quickie. But that's my goal, is to get the drawing done first and then go back with some color and start refining it. So I'll kind of show you how I go. I won't be able to get it real smooth on this board because it is so gritty. But it kind of gives you an idea of layout and how to get started. And you see it doesn't look like her, but I will make it look like her. It's close, and that's okay. Everybody watches demos sometimes and they watch the person just come to life and be perfect the first time, and that's very deceptive, because then you feel like your first shot in 20 minutes should be perfect, and people will get frustrated with that, so they wipe it all off instead of going, no, I'm going to tweak that and make it work and make it look more like the person.
I think we did a workshop of okay, you had 20 minutes to.
Yes.
You have, like, I'm talking, because I think I found myself.
You do.
You know what I mean? And it's like, no, get it in there. You know, somebody says, stop it.
That's right.
You know, until I'm able to get it in 20 minutes.
Well, that's why they tell us as portrait painters or any kind of painters to do some plein air painting outside, because you have to go fast, because the light, you can just see the light, the shadow, like, oh, I gotta get that shadow in. And so you go really fast, and when you have a model and you have a timer set for 25 minutes, you know, oh, you're looking at the clock constantly, and so you can't piddle around. It blocks some creativity to piddle. It makes us sort of like stiff, yes, because we have all this luxury of time, and the picture's just laying there on the table flat. You know? Yes,
One day.
and you don't have that urgency.
You'll see.
So you just, y'all are in front of me here, so I'm hurrying up. I'm like, oh, Phyllis has got to go, and I got to hurry up and do this. And so it really is a good thing that makes you just totally abandon all that. Do it a few times. Do it yourself. We can do it in here. I can pull a big picture up,
yes,
and we
I
can
would
all
love
sit
to.
down and
See,
say,
it would-
okay,
It would be like, okay,
okay.
Can we refuse for it to be seen?
Yes, you absolutely can. So next week I'll start putting color on, and then I'll have another week that'll refine it. But what we can also do one week is we can do this and time it, and let you see how far. Bring a little sketchbook, and we can do it next week if you want to. I can stay till 1, and I can do the demo, and then I can give y'all 20 minutes and let you get a face on there real fast in 20 minutes. For more inspirational and educational art videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Christine Pilkinton Studio, or visit my website at portraitcreations.com.